Alright, so first off, I want to give best wishes to the guy who runs the corner store by my house. He's not feeling well. Been going there for like 8, 9 years. And I hope you feel better, man. Big man. And this is another game that I told you guys were on its way. And here it is. So enjoy. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is, wherever you are. This, of course, is Corvus Wayasti, but you can call me Corey. Don't forget, if you're new and you haven't before, go ahead, hit that subscribe button and activate the notification icon bell after you've done that, so it has a little line, the little parentheses or the little whatever things on each side of it. That way, you're notified anytime I make a video, which is, well, I try to make a video at least once a day. Not to mention, it'll also let you know when I go live, because right now I do live streaming mainly on YouTube. Eventually I'll branch out to Twitch and Mixer, but for the moment it's YouTube. And also don't forget, like any videos that you actually enjoy or find interesting, and I'll be more than happy to be glad that you're liking my videos. Say anything you need in the comments as long as it's appropriate. This is a family oriented sort of YouTube channel. I try not to cuss. There's one video where I do it a lot, but mainly I try to keep the cuss words and everything down. And I'll let you know before a video if it has any cussing or suggested themes or anything like that. Alright, so I told you there was more games coming. Here's one of them. It's called Guild Wars 2, and it's actually one I have played since it came out back in the day. And I have multiple characters, as you can see. Most of them are maxed at 80, but their masteries are not up. Only this guy's masteries are pretty high. It's got mastery, it's got PvE, it's got PvP, and it's got world PvP. Structured player versus player means you're a little arena 5-on-5. World PvP means you're in a whole nother world, and it's your giant army versus another server's giant army versus another server's giant army. But because of the servers and how lopsided they can be, they've taken the math of the different servers and put certain servers together so they get a pretty good equal. Like, for example, my server is not a huge PvP server, so they had to meld us with someone who was a large PvP server because of the fact that we really don't do it that often. And it hurts the people in our server because the ones that do a lot of PvP in the world versus world, they don't get as much wins because of the fact that a lot of us don't do PvP. So there's 5 races in this, and I'll show those to you real quick. And this is the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a little snippet of what each race is like. Okay, so I'm going to shut my mouth, and it's going to go through each race for you. Okay, so enjoy the race videos. Not that way.
I am a Char. In this world of constant battle, I am the deadliest weapon of all. I respect no authority but the clenched fist of my legion. With engines of destruction, we have killed our gods. We reclaimed our homeland of Ascalon, and we planted victory banners on the graves of our enemies. Yet, if we waver, it could slip through our claws. Victory, at any cost. The Iron Legion's war cry can be heard in the churning of gears and the roaring of siege engines. I serve the Iron Legion. I build the future. I forge the weapons of Char supremacy. I've earned the respect of my comrades, and forged alliances I can call on in times of need. My Legion values innovative solutions, efficient execution. Like our steel, we do not bend. Centuries ago, humans stole Ascalon from the Iron Legion. They have paid for that crime in blood, but the usurpers fight us even in death. Today, the combined armies of the Black Citadel will assault the ghosts that plague Iron Legion territory. I've been assigned to reinforce the bulwark. Let the Ash Legion strike from the shadows. Let the Blood Legion die on the field. I am part of the machine. This is my story.
The human race once ruled Tyria. Now, we struggle to hold our ground. We've been defeated, driven back, and broken. But we will not surrender. So many nations have fallen. Only Kryta still stands. Our faith is strong, despite the silence of the Six Gods. With courage, we'll make our stand in Divinity's reach. The city is my home. I was born into luxury, a noble of Divinity's reach, and privilege comes with responsibility. I protect the commoners under my care. They believe in me. I'm grateful for their trust, and I will not let them down. Today, I plan to venture beyond the gates of the city and see the world for myself. But when I arrived in Shaymor, I found the town under siege by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. I will show the people that we can triumph, that there is still hope. This is my story.
I am Norn, hunter of the wild, born of the free and rugged Shiverpeak Mountains. In the far north, my people fought our greatest enemy, Jormag, a dragon of frost and snow. The dragon broke our pride, but it did not break our spirit. In our last hour, we heard the voices of 4 of the spirits of the wild: Bear, Raven, Snow Leopard, Wolf. They called us south, away from certain annihilation. We founded the Great Lodge of Holbreck and claimed new hunting grounds. Some say we should not fight Jormag. I say the greatest risk is to wager nothing at all. One day a hero will lead us home, and we will break the dragon's icy grip. I weave the skein of wisdom. My cunning confounds lesser foes. Like my ancestors before me, I seek glory. One day, I will take my place among the heroes of the Norn. The spirits of the wild have given me the gifts of trickery and cleverness. I challenge the skill of my enemy. I am the predator. They are the prey. I am still untested, but already, my deeds have earned me friendship and great respect. Each year, a great hunt is called in Holbreck. Only the best among us are invited to participate. I'll prove my worth with guile, collecting trophies to show my prowess. Then, I will drink and boast of my victories. I accept this challenge. I relish it. Come, danger. Come, adventure. In the lodges and halls of my people, my cunning will be remembered through the ages. This is my story.
Silvari. 25 years ago, my people first appeared in Tyria. The pale tree flowered, and the firstborn awakened. The dream contains my race's memories. We gain awareness here, and then awaken into the world. The dream fills me with knowledge, and is my connection to others. It is my inspiration, my guiding light. While here, I have discovered my purpose, to face evil and destroy it. Even now, I sense my destiny calling me to awaken. My time is soon. Nature and goodness are under siege. All life hangs in the balance. If Tyria is to survive, it will need us. If we fail, the dream will be consumed by nightmare, and Tyria will wither and die. I dream of secrets. The voices of my people whisper to me of spiderwebs and hidden knives. I see the symbol of a crescent moon on the curve of a shield. It is a symbol of wisdom. The dream hints at my future. I glimpse the faces of those whose secrets I will shelter, and who, in turn, guard mine. I will uncover truth and fight the nightmare that festers in wicked hearts. On the eve of my awakening, I feel the earth singing in my bones. And yet, I sense darkness approaching. Something intrudes upon the dream. It blocks the path to my awakening. Before I can enter the world, I must first face this evil and vanquish it. I am summoned by the dream. This is my story.
I am Asura. I personify genius. My ancestors were driven from the heart of the earth, forced to live in this bright, wide world. Of course, we've excelled. We exceed expectations in everything we do. With Golem and Gate and Arcane Crystal, we have asserted our supremacy in this land and made it our own. We will not move another inch. Not for dragons, not for anyone. By studying the eternal alchemy, we learn to see the world as a concrete framework. I believe that a steadfast structure requires a firm foundation. I belong to the College of Statics. I surround myself with individuals I respect and who respect me. Collaboration induces excellence. The crews of my college are builders, planners, creators. I've just been informed that defective golems, not mine of course, are causing havoc out in the jungle. Whatever the imbeciles outside the city have broken, I'll fix, and make my name doing so. In time, I will construct the edifice of a better world, a world devoid of chaos and destruction. This is my story.
Alright, so you just saw the 5 races intros, and those are newish. When the game first started, there were different intros. That one seems to take in a lot of effect of what you do in the character creation. So you had the Char, which are basically like tiger people, in a manner of speaking, and the humans, which are, well, the humans. The giants of the frozen north, the Norns. The Silvari was the next one, which are plant people, and of course the Azurans were the last ones, which are like the little know-it-all, magical power, adorable little people. Um, After that, you pick male or female, and I tried to mix up the male and female intros, but no class or race is gender locked. You can be male, female for all of them. So at the top row you have heavy armor, then you have medium armor, then the bottom row is light armor. So the first one you have is the warrior. The warrior is basically the frontline soldier. That's the one with a lot of heavy armor, goes in with the axes and the big swords and everything else. And, you know, their whole job is, there's nothing like tank, DPS, and healer in this. They don't have those specific classes. But he can still take a few more licks than most can. That is a really ugly hairdo. But on my warrior, I can actually go toe to toe on my ranger with a few warriors. The next one in the heavy armor is the guardian. Now, the Guardian is sort of like a paladin, and I'm going to do a lot of World of Warcraft bouncing because I know a lot of people, even myself, have played World of Warcraft, and you know those classes. So to help you understand it better, I'm going to use some. But the Guardian, basically, they can make force fields and shield bubbles and, you know, help you out with shouts and stuff. A Revenant, we'll talk about that later. The Ranger. The Ranger is like, it's one of the medium armors, because we're in the second row now. The Ranger is a medium armor animal tamer. Basically, each race gets a pick of 3 different animals. You get one of the 3 to start with, and you go out and you'll find juveniles, or teenagers, basically, of the versions of the animals. And you tame them, and they become like an ally to work with you. The next one is the Thief. The Thief is, by the way, the Ranger is like the Ranger from World of Warcraft. I forgot what it's called. The Thief basically is, well, it's a thief. They're like rogues from World of Warcraft. Basically, they can appear, they can disappear. They'll appear out of nowhere from behind, stab you in the back, vanish again, and just be extremely annoying if they're not on your team, but pretty helpful when they are on your team. Some people have learned how to deal with them. I haven't. Then, of course, you have the Engineer. The Engineer is basically the one that sets up gun turrets and flamethrower turrets and net turrets and healing turrets. They have a lot of turrets that they can set up. Then you have the Necromancer. The Necromancer basically is the summoner of the undead, obviously. They're sort of like a warlock. Basically, they summon undead little minions to fight alongside of them. Then, of course, you have the Elementalist. The Elementalist controls the elements, obviously. Earth, wind, water, and fire. And basically, all of their powers actually stem from what they do with the elements. So, like, for example, say you have I'm going to say a sword attached. The sword can be a flaming sword, a lightning sword, a sword of ice for water, a ground sword. You magically bring, like, the elements to life as you fight. For example, the lightning dagger is actually a dagger that has a lightning whip come out of it to hit your opponents. Then, of course, you have the Mesmer. The Mesmer is basically, it's a multiplier. you actually multiply illusions of yourself. They're like an illusionist. They'll make illusions of themselves. So, like, say for example, you're in PvP, you start fighting a Mesmer. The Mesmer can make 3 copies of themselves to fight against you as well. Now, let me say this real quick before I go on. This game is you pay for it once, and there's no subscription fee. They have a microtransaction store, but the microtransaction store does not make it pay to win at all. There's nothing in there that makes you a winner. It's 95% cosmetic, and then the other 5% is like gathering tools, which honestly you can get gathering tools in the world too. They're just special effect looking ones. Now, the one I skipped was the Revenite. The reason I skipped that is because 2 expansions have already come out for this game. The Heart of Thorns and the Path of Fire expansions. The Heart of Thorns is what you need in order to get this guy. Now, technically, you could pay $49.99 right now, $50, and you get the regular game. You get Heart of Thorns, you get Path of Fire, and you get 2 boosters that boost your characters automatically to level 80. The nice part about that you don't get in a lot of games is once you hit level 80 with that booster, you can still do your story mode. It's still there. So you can still go through the whole story like normal. But the Revenite is basically, they walk through the void. It's real hard to explain the Revenite. Because there's not many that do it. Basically, you go through a different dimension and you come back out to attack your enemy. So, like, there's attacks where you'll be appearing and disappearing around them because you're going through that void. And they're also heavy armor. So remember, the top 3 are heavy armor, the middle 3 are medium armor, and the bottom 3 are light armor. Now, what I was saying about the intros defined by your story information. So, like, for example, the Mesmer can pick a specific mask to wear. Then you pick Dignity, Ferocity, or Charm of how you overcome obstacles. The Azurans have schools or colleges because they're extremely smart, so they all have to go to college. It's actually, I think it's like a written law that they go to college or something, I don't know. But each one of these things that you pick actually determines how your story is narrated at the beginning of the game. So, for example, if you go to the Norns, which is what my main character is, a Norn. He's a Norn Ranger, actually. He doesn't look like that. You get to pick your 3 animal, one of your 3 animals. You get the overcome thing. Quality that's necessary. What happened to see, instead of a college, they have you either blacked out, got in a fight, or lost an heirloom when you were at the last, basically, beer fest, I guess. And then, of course, you pick your god. They have spirits, not gods, that they follow. So, I am going to log into my character, which this is my main character, Wayasti. And in case anybody plays this game, there are many worlds. I live in Gates of Madness, but there are many worlds you can live in. And as you can see, some of them are so high and full. There's none, if you notice, that are on low. So I'm going to log into him and BRB. Okay, so here we are in the game. This is my main character. He is a ranger. And I'm going to go across and explain exactly what's on the screen. So I turned on my mouse so that you can see. Okay, so the first thing, we'll start at the bottom. Obviously, this is your chat bar. And this is only for PC, not PlayStation or Xbox. The next thing, on a ranger, I have a pet. In fact, I have 2 pets. These are my 2 pets. Don't ask about him. There's multiple pets that you can get as a ranger. All these pets are pets you can use on the land. I don't have this one or this one because I didn't do enough in Guild Wars 1. Then, of course, you have the water animals that you can also get. So, some of these are multiples from the other one, but these are the only ones that can fight underwater. And these are the ones that can fight only on land, except for the exception of a few that can fight on both land and water. Now, if you're an elementalist, this would have elements that you can switch between. If you were say a warrior, it would have shouts. If you were a guardian, it would have it would have like protection things. If you were a mesmer, it would have mesmer things that you can do, like blow up your illusions and stun people, blow up your illusions and damage people, stuff like that, and you know, so forth and so on. Now you have 2 weapon slots that you can choose from, and you hit this and it swaps. Now see, I have a bow out, now I have a longsword. And each race, now weapons are locked according to class. So you always have to remember, some weapons are not usable depending on what class you are. So you got to remember that. See, there's an engineer and a mesmer up here. Let's see if we can get up there in time to see what they're doing real quick. Yeah, see, the mesmer was using copies of themselves, and the engineer was creating stuff. He was creating little turrets. You didn't really see it.
I could use a hand over here.
Alright, so now the nice thing is, if you go down, you're not fully down. But let's continue with the lower button stuff. So you have your weapons. Now these 5 skills are according to your weapons. Now I don't have one on, but I can go here. And sorry, it's been a little while since I've been on it. I mean, I played this game since the beginning of the game. Like literally, I was in the alpha. But I don't know how I did that. I guess I wrote a good email or something. But basically, you can go to the build screen, and the first thing on there are your weapon skills. Now, as you can see, the main hand axe, if you put the axe in your main hand, you get these 3 abilities. Now, if you put a second axe in your second hand, you get these 2. So the first hand is for your main hand, or the first 3 skills are your main hand. The second 2 skills are for your offhand, unless it's a 2-handed weapon like a bow. A long bow, a short bow, a great sword, a staff. That takes up the whole thing because it's 2-handed. You can't hold another weapon. Of course, you've got your specializations, which they each have their own little specializations. My bottom one is part of the Path of Fire expansion. By the way, that little thing they were fighting, that was a Choyo raid. That's an event that eventually I'll get into with you guys. So, that's how the weapon skills work. Now, the last sets here have nothing to do with your weapons. It mainly has to do, like, the healing. Each class has different healing abilities. So, that's your healing ability. These right here, these 3, 7, 8, and 9, those would be your regular class skills. So, like, I could get 3 of any of these skills that I want for my character. And then the last one is your elite skill. And each class gets 1 elite skill. And then, of course, this one is your mount, which those unlock with Path of Fire. Path of Fire is what you need to unlock mounts, and then to unlock gliding, which I'll show you gliding real quick. To unlock gliding in the Revenite, you need the Heart of Thorns expansion. So I'll jump off here. As you can see, that's my glider. It's a giant asteroid. And there is underwater combat. And your character normally would put a mask on, but I have that turned off at the moment, so you don't see that on mine. As you can see, my pet is helping me out with the battle. Because as a ranger, I have pets, so they help me out. Alright. Now, up here, this is a Path of Fire thing as well. Path of Fire, everyone, all the classes got a special F5 ability. For me, as a ranger, I meld my powers with my pets, and as you can see, these all change to things that I can do with my pet. Up here, you have your story, your dailies, stuff like that. You know, information about the game, missions and objectives that you can do in this specific area or whatever. And by this area, I mean like this area, because this is one area. This is an area, that's an area, that's an area. Literally, you can go here, 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 all this, here, here, all this right here, all this right here, all that's unlocked. The Deldramore front is not unlocked yet. And some of the ruins of ore down here are not done, but these are. This is your zombie area, basically. That's ore right here, the ruins of ore. That's like where all the undead are. So that's where you're gonna find a lot of your zombie fun. Of course, you have your mini map, and your mini map has different things on it that you can see here. Down on the bottom here, this is your experience bar. Now, I said I was max level, but it still shows experience. That's because I'm doing a thing called mastery. Mastery points are, once you hit level 80 and you have either Path of Fire or Heart of Thorns, it unlocks a mastery. You can get mastery abilities that actually help upgrade. So for example, say I got one of those expansions, I went back and I decided to do the Pact Commander. Well, what that does is first there's Mentor. That will give your party a permanent 5% boost in your speed when you're inside one of the cities. And then there's, you know, other skills and abilities. They also have skills and abilities for the Path of Fire mounts that you can get. I know it's a lot. It's overwhelming. Don't worry. Everybody has a My Story that they can do. And it's really interesting. The story is actually really involved and deep. Now, anything you do in your personal story does not affect the open world, but it will affect your story as you go along. For example, there's My Story, Scarlet's War, The Living World Season 2, Heart of Thorns Expansion Pack, The Living World Season 3, Path of Fire Expansion Pack. Now we're on Season 4 right now. I skipped these two temporarily because I'm doing this one in order to get the Beetle, which is the 6th mount in the collection. The mounts are a Raptor, and ignore my skins, I have special skins on them. The Springer, which is a super high jumper, jumps high. No, get off. The Skimmer, which basically he's used to go over water and lava and all that. If you don't like water combat, this is a mount you'll want to get. So you can just hover over the water. Like they're doing, basically. And it goes over quicksand in the Path of Fire area. The Jackal, which basically is a teleporter. And of course, last but not least, the most expensive and hardest one to get in the game, the Griffin. And again, ignore the skin. I have a special skin on. But that's the Griffin right there. And of course, there's the Beetle, the 6th one. I haven't played it in a while, so I don't have that one unlocked just yet, but I will eventually. Feel free to leave in comments if you like this game and you want to see more of it. I'll be happy to show it to you. This here, the red ball, that's your health. The 2 yellow lines above it, that is your, basically like your stamina. So like, for example, if I dodge, that's not dodge. If I dodge, you see it went down. I dodge again, as you see it went down again. And as you do things, it'll build back up. So like, say for example, I'm attacking an enemy. Let me see if I can find one. Well, say I'm attacking an enemy. I'm shooting at him. I'm doing my thing. I can hit the V button, and it actually will dodge the enemy's attack, which is really nice and really helpful. It is a tab targeting, but it also has like it's sort of like a mix between tab targeting and action put together. Because you can do the specific things. You can dodge attacks and everything, which is something you would do more in an action type fight than you would a tab target. But at the same time, you can tab target your enemy as well. And I'm just fighting him to show you that. See, there's some of the new roller beetles there. Those two are roller beetles. And my guild is... my main one is the Morbid Winter guild. I haven't talked to him in a while. There's only 3 of us actually representing. The other 2 are online, but they're not currently representing this, which means they're probably one of the others. And you can actually get up to 5 different 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I counted just to be sure I was right. 5 different guilds that you can be in. Porters, that's one where mesmers are able to teleport people. We go to the top of jumping puzzles when there's a daily jumping puzzle, and we teleport people up and they tip us. So that's always helpful. So yeah, that's the game. If you want to see more of it, feel free to put it in comments. I'm probably still going to do some more of it just because I enjoy this game and I play it a lot. Remember, it is a no subscription. You buy the game, you buy the expansions. Like, you pay $50, you get the game, you get both expansions, and you don't have to pay a subscription or anything else if you don't want to. The whole store that I told you about is right here. As you can see, that's a gathering tool. That's part of the 5%. 90, like I said, 95% is cosmetics. The other 5% is stuff like gathering. You can actually don't even have to buy real money. In this game, they actually have an exchange. So say, for example, I want to get some money. Okay, well, let's see. Something I want to buy is 12 gold. Okay, I'll go down here to custom exchange. I'll say, okay, well, it's 12 gold. So I put in, I don't know why I did 112. 12 gold. That would take 68 of these, which means it would leave me with 1,115. Because it would take 68 gems to make these 12 gold. Say you want to get gems. Okay, I need, say, 100. There's 100. Well, that would cost me 27 gold. So say, for example, you want to buy, let's find something random here. Random item. Say you want to buy a mini pet, a mini wyvern. People love wyverns. There's a wyvern in the game. So say you want to buy a mini wyvern. Mini wyvern is 350. You go to the exchange. There's no 350 here. There's a 400 if you want, and that'll leave you 100 for 107. Or you can go to custom exchange. and it was, I believe, 350. So we'll delete all that. Put in a highlight that. 3. Highlight it. Ugh. It can be a pain in the butt trying to get this thing to work right. Alright, well, it's not working right for me for some reason. But basically you would put the 350, and it may work better for you than it does for me. But basically you would put in the 350. There we go. That would cost 93 gold. So once you got 93 gold, you can go here, transfer that 93 gold into 350 gems. Then you can go back up here. You can find that specific mini pet. Boom, buy it. He's in your inventory on every single one of your characters. All of your characters will unlock all skins. If you have any outfits, all these outfits will be unlocked on every single character. Now I forgot which one I used. There it is. So all these outfits, you buy the outfit, it's unlocked on every character. All this, medium, heavy, and light armor, depending on what you are. Well, all these medium armored looks are unlocked on all my characters that carry medium armor. And they're really nice, some of them. Medium armor, it's more like they took their time on light armor. They did a little bit of work on heavy armor, but then by the time they got to medium armor, they're like, eh, and they just stopped. Of course, with weapons, same thing. If your character can carry a great bow and you have all these, then the longbow, then there you go. You can have whatever longbow skin you feel like having that's on this list. And they do have guild specific. See, you can see the little flower there from the Morbid Winter guild. Same thing with the swords and everything. Depending on what one, if your character can carry a great sword and you have this skin, then all your characters have this skin. And the gliders, gliders skins, same thing. If you unlock the skin, it's unlocked on all your characters, which is really, really nice. This one I pull out during Halloween because it's a Halloweeny one. And mounts, again, if you unlock any of the special mount skins, they're automatically unlocked for all your characters. So say your character has a Springer, well, all your characters with Springers will have that skin. Same with the Griffins. If you have a Griffin, then this skin's unlocked. Of course, the colors are different, so don't expect it to come out looking like that. That's just what mine looks like because I changed this color. So you can go into dyes, and you can dye your outfit, you can dye all your pieces of armor. Some gliders can be dyed, the Geomancer glider cannot, but most can. Excuse me. And of course you can dye your Griffins as well. See, this is the default dye for that Griffin. That's what it looks like when I dyed it. And of course miniatures. All these minis can be dyed as well. I don't actually have that many. Yeah, all those are mine. Now when it gets to the locked ones here, these I don't have. All these I don't have. So see, there's a lot more I don't have than what I do have. So the minis, the wardrobe, the outfits, finishers for PvP, mail carriers, glider skins, mounts, they're all shared Mount skins, not mounts. You have to unlock a mount on every single character. Finishers are basically, they're ways to embarrass other players. Instead of teabagging them, you can just pull out a finisher. I keep mine on random finisher, so it'll just randomly do one of these every time. Depending on what it just happens to drop at the specific moment. It's kind of a cool one. A Revenite comes out. This is the basic finisher you start with. Right there. Okay. So, that's a little bit about this game. Again, like I said before, go ahead, hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the notification icon to be notified when I put a video out. Put in comments what you think of this game. If you've played it, tell me what you thought of it. If you haven't played it, tell me if it looks interesting or not. I'm going to do some more videos on it and show you some more of it as I play it. There's a cat coming up behind me. And as always, this of course is Corvus Wayasti, and I just like to say, later days.